The following podcast is provided by Athira Pharma and Answers for Elders Radio.
And welcome back, everybody, to Answers for Elders Radio Network. And we have had a delightful conversation with Dr. Bernardo Ng from the Sun Valley Research Center, Inc. And we are talking about Alzheimer's clinical trials and sponsored by Athira Pharma. And Dr. Ng, I have enjoyed so much talking to you a little bit about what goes on in the trials and how we can do a better job of reaching our Latino population. And you have done some very creative things to reach those communities. Could you tell me a little bit about what kind of ways in which you go out into the community to find people to participate?
Yes, so we've done a lot of different things, and we've learned as we go. Something that we felt didn't work that well, and we keep changing and trying to improve. But what we do constantly is to participate in what's called health fairs, right? So the health department, some federal clinics, some schools like the local community college periodically put together health fairs. And there we go and sit there and some of my people go there with it's old fashioned, mouth to mouth, word to word. Here's what we do. And we do what we call free memory test, which is a pen paper test with questions and say, hey, you know what? Has your doctor told you? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And that's one way to go about it. The other is that we have a few, not enough, long-term facilities like retirement homes and stuff. And if the owners or the administrative team allow us, we go visit them and give them a talk and say what we do. And that has been is very hard to predict. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And then we suddenly discovered that Facebook works and that this population likes Facebook.
Absolutely, they do.
Yes. So we hired a firm that manages our social media. We run ads in English and in Spanish, right? Good. So the same message, we put it one day in English, the other day in Spanish. And I don't know how these people do it. If you follow it and you click, it sends you to where now it asks you, do you agree to be called? Or we have a team now that we call it a pre-screening team. Is these young people who are very good on the phone and bilingual, and they're very kind and patient, and they talk to the people that have clicked on call me or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And those calls can get very long, and I
can imagine.
Yeah, and they become like just like they're chatting, right? And they say, more times than not, they're very well received. The people that take their calls, they're interested and they want to hear about it. And when we've done our meetings to check on it, the moment they hear the word research, there's like a pause, right? So we've trained our people to be more informative about it. Which is someone where you participate voluntarily, you can get out of the trial anytime you want, and then little by little, we're getting people to contact us that way. So
do you think people sometimes hesitate because they think that there's a chance they won't get any medical help if they go on a placebo? They don't realize that there's other things going on in the background.
I cannot tell you what proportion of the people that express no interest is for that reason, but that's one. The other one is, and is very little we can do about it, is that some of the visits are long, like screening baseline visits are long, and it's many times these people are not doing anything anyway, right? Because they're retired, but sometimes that there's a complaint there,
Mhm.
and that's about it. Once they show up, and I make very clear, and I make sure that I make very clear during the consent process, because they have to sign and
Sure.
the study partner has to sign as well. I explain to them that they're not signing a contract, right? They're signing a
Right.
consent. So if
Right.
they say, you know what, I changed my mind, and I think that relieves a lot of the stress or the
Mhm.
concerns about it, because
Right.
uh historically you're used that if you sign something, it's because now you're
You're
committed.
like locked in. Well, and
Yeah.
I think the other thing that's really good that you've been able to do, I think too, is because you take the time to talk to people, because you answer the questions, it's like people don't feel like they're in a test tube and they don't know what's going on. They're really well informed through the process, I think, is what you've been able to communicate to us. And I think people appreciate that.
Oh, we wouldn't do it any other way. In fact, when we had an opportunity to participate in a trial that required
Mhm.
lumbar puncture, for example,
Right.
that was very discouraging. And we went through the details of that. A lot of people said, no, 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 no. And we left it at that. And they were already, in our office. They had already gone through all the Facebook,
Right.
whatever, the health fair, the phone call, and then they
Uh-huh.
said no at that moment. And but no, the people that does participate, they do it willingly, and hoping, of course, to get better, but also knowing that they are contributing, right?
Right.
Very important.
Right. And that's what's most important, I think, in the whole scheme of things, is making sure people feel comfortable with the steps that they're taking and they feel informed. And I know for you guys, you've done such an amazing job. And I am so grateful to you, Dr. Ng, for taking this time with us to kind of share your mission and your passion, because I think it's important that those that are in marginalized communities and those communities of color have the same access as to those that that do more common. And so certainly we're very delighted to have had you on the show today. Thank you so
Well, thank
much.
you. Thank you very much for the invitation. And I want to make clear, as it may seem obvious, but I don't want to not say it, that I may be the medical director, but there are a lot of people in this team. We have
Mhm.
administration, we have staff, we have study coordinators, we have
Yeah.
research assistants, we have pre-screeners, even the person that does our ads on Facebook. A lot of
Yes,
people thank.
it's all a team.
It's all
And
the
you're actually looking right now for staff members. Is that correct,
Oh
for
yes,
in the
we
research
need
process?
we need medical doctors who are interested in being principal investigators or sub-investigators.
That's amazing.
We're mainly central nervous system, but we're expanding to other areas out
That
of
is wonderful, wonderful. And so if people are interested again, how do they reach you, Dr. Ng?
Yes, just visit our website, www.sunvalleyr.com, or our phone number is 760-543-0123.
All right, everyone, and I'm going to repeat it one more time with Dr. Ng. It's www.sunvalleyr.com, and the phone number 760-545-0123. You got a good phone number there, my friend.
0123.
There you go. And I also want to thank our sponsor today, Athira Pharma, for sponsoring today's program. And for those of you, they do their own version of Alzheimer's trials that I know Dr. Ng is a part of. And if you're interested in what Athira Pharma does, you can go to their website, which is join, JOIN, lift, LIFT, That's joinliftad.com. And Dr. Ng, it's been such a pleasure to have you on the show today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The pleasure was all mine.
The preceding podcast was provided by Athira Pharma and Answers for Elders Radio. For more information about the Alzheimer's clinical trial, go to athiraclinicaltrials.com.